I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. As Dr. Carberry said, I started with AMI almost 4 years ago, about 3.5 years ago, and typically I'm pretty shy about telling the details of the story in its full story. But today I'm going to just show you a little bit about that because I feel like it can be inspirational, and I want to make sure to let you guys know that. So if I can figure out how this works, we'll do it. Okay. So I started with AMI in 2015. I was working at the time as an associate doctor, okay? I was an associate, I was a chiropractor working for another clinic. At the time I said, hey, I have these ideas, and I went to them because I do have a background in business, and I said, hey, we could do this to get patients, and we could do this to make more money. And the doctor said, he goes, when you've been in clinic, and when you've owned your own business for 20 years, you can tell me what to do. I said, okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's your clinic. And so I went out and started my own. So that was around 3.5, 4 years ago. I had been out of school for about 1.5 years. I purchased a clinic and ran it for about 4 months as a straight chiro clinic. When I left and bought my first clinic, I only had $20,000 in my bank account. That was it. My wife and I had both worked very hard through chiropractic school, and then when I graduated, we tried to save up our money. We had a kid, so we had about a 4-month-old, and it was probably, we talk about the naysayers, we talk about the challenges. Everybody said, you're unreasonable, right? They said, you have a child, you need stability, you need to have this job. What are you doing spending all of your savings trying to buy a clinic? Well, and before that, this is important, before even buying the clinic, I signed up to purchase AMI. Okay? I was an associate doctor with no clinic, and I signed up with AMI. Okay? Again, talk about being unreasonable. And I said, I don't care what you guys say, I know what I can do, and I'm going to do it. And so I went and I bought my first clinic. Of course, I leveraged it because it was more expensive than $20,000. And so I got a loan for the other part of it. And within those 4 months of working really hard, we then integrated the clinic, exactly following AMI's protocols. I was on the phone frequently with my coaches, discussing exactly how to do that and how to be successful. And they guided me in a way that helped me to really take off. So 6 months after we integrated that first clinic, I purchased another clinic. But this time, when I purchased it, I integrated it right away. And then a year after that, I purchased another clinic, and so on and so forth. So this was easy, right? I mean, I was lucky. I just, at the right time, found exactly the right clinic. I got, what probably happened is as I was going to my first convention, Mike probably leaned down and whispered the secret sauce that nobody else knows so that I could do this. That's probably what happened, right? No, right? So it is easy to think that I am the exception to the rule when you look at this history. When you see some of the stuff where I'm at right now, it's very easy to think, well, he's just the exception to the rule, but I'm not. Difficulties along the way, let's talk about it. Who has ever had credentialing issues with providers? Yes, happened over and over and over again. And I will tell you, when you have a clinic and a business now as big as ours, it probably happened a lot more to me than it happened to you because we have over 60 employees. So when you're dealing with that many people, just take the percentage and it happens a lot. The next thing, medical provider. When I first started the clinic and I integrated, within the first month, my medical provider left. Has that happened to anybody, that their medical provider left? You know what's interesting is most of the guys that are raising their hands are in the mastermind section. You guys are incredible, right? We've all experienced it, and yet we kept going, okay? The next thing, also, I will say, with the medical provider, when I bought the second clinic, the medical provider left after a month for that one, too. Finally, we figured it out, and we kept them around after a while. The next one, trying to figure out billing incorrectly, corrected claims, recoups. Who's had to deal with this before? Look around. Everybody's raising their hand. This is not unique. This is something that's along the way. Next, if this will work. There we go. Recoups and insurance companies, just talked about. Just about everything that could go wrong did go wrong at some point in that journey, okay? But if it's so hard, why not give up? It's worth it. Why not give up? You need to know why you do this. You need to know why you get up every day, every single morning, and you go out and do it. Is it to save lives? Is it to help people? Is it to support your family? You need to know, and it needs to drive you, okay? So going on. Failure is okay when you're young. I heard this all the time. Like when I first started, I came in and I was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. And I talked to other doctors after I started doing this, and I bought my second clinic, and people would say, it's okay, you're young. I've been around a long time. I can't afford to take those risks at this point in my life. And I love this quote. If you can't afford to fail, you can't afford to succeed, because failure and success are just steps in the same pathway. Okay? It's the same pathway, you're just at different stages. Okay? Ray Dalio, it is a fundamental law of nature that in order to gain strength, one must push one's limits. If you are not failing, you are not pushing your limits. And if you're not pushing your limits, you will never reach your potential. Who believes that to be true? It's because it is true. And we need to be okay when we fail. If you are not where you want to be, you don't have time to keep doing what you are doing. You must change, because things that don't change stay the same. Who's happy with their current situation, where they're at? So what do you need to do? Change something, right? Something has to change. If you're not where you want to be, stop doing what you're doing and do something different. And if that doesn't work, try something else until you find what makes you happy, and then take it and grab it and follow it with every might and strength that you have until it becomes yours. So I want to talk about missiles and sailboats for just a moment. Who's ever been sailing? And not like, what about Bob, right? Like, who's been sailing? Okay, so this is not with the motor behind that just kind of pushes you. That's cheating. I know. In a sailboat, when you actually are using the wind to guide you, do you go in a straight line? And I know the answer is up there, but do you go in a straight line? No. How do you go? You zigzag. Why do you zigzag? Because that's how the physics works that pulls the sail. Right? You have to. Well, it's similar to the path to success, okay? It's not a straight line. Missiles are the same way. They're just at an incredibly higher speed, so it doesn't look like they're zigzagging, okay? Did you know that while they are progressing towards the goal, the majority of their time, they are not in alignment, a straight line, pointing at their goal. Instead, it's constant course correction. Constantly. They go one way, and then they switch, and they go the other way, and then they switch, and they go the other way. Every single one of those changes brings them closer to their goal. When you fail, it's the same way. Don't look at it as, man, I had to change courses again. Oh, my staff's so upset because we changed paperwork again. Right? No, this is constantly taking us closer and closer and closer to where we need to be to accomplish success. Okay, whether you are traveling at the speed of a sailboat or a missile, it does not matter. You need a target, a destination you are headed towards. You need to know that the changes you make along the way are not bad, but instead bring you closer to your goal. But what happens if you don't know what your goal is? Then it's just change. Then it's just a course correction towards nothing. If you do not have a destination, you're a boat without a rudder. Okay? So, in this next part, I'm going to tell you a little bit where I am. My goal, okay, my destination was, ever since I was a kid, I said, I will be a successful business person. And guess what? It put a lot of people off. When I was in college, when I was going to Palmer, and I don't think anybody knew me while I was in school, but I said over and over again, I will have multiple highly successful clinics, and I will change the way people look at healthcare. I will save people's lives, and I will get them better every single day. And they said, you're a chiropractor. You're going to school to be a chiropractor. How are you going to do those things? And I said, you just don't see it the way I see it. We will change lives for the better, and we will change healthcare. So a lot of people didn't like to talk to me about that because one of my really good friends during the time even said that. He called me the other day. He's a dentist. He's one of the top dentists at Heartland Dental. I don't know if anybody's heard of Heartland Dental. They're valued at around $5 billion. They don't have a single clinic called Heartland Dental, but they're the largest dental company in the world, okay? He's one of their top guys. He's guaranteed over $800,000 a year, and then he has bonuses, okay? It's really good pay, right? A lot of people would take that. He called me. He graduated from dental school, went into practice with them, and he was making around $450,000 at the time. And I was a student with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And when we'd hang out, he's like, so what are you up to, Justin? What are you doing? And I would tell him, like, this is what I want to do. This is where I'm going to be. And he's like, okay, cool, great. And he told me when we were on the phone the other day, he goes, when you were telling me that stuff, I thought you were full of crap. He goes, I liked you, so I didn't tell you, because, we talked about friends versus allies this morning with Tim Grover, right? He was a good friend, and he didn't say anything. He's just like, good for you. I'm happy. And he calls me, he's like, holy crap. He goes, I had no idea where you were headed at the time. I had no idea what you were going to accomplish, but he goes, I have to give credit where credit's due. You're making a difference. You're helping so many people, and you're doing what you always said. So don't be afraid to be unreasonable. Don't be afraid to talk about what you want with everybody. No matter what they think of you, if you want it bad enough, you'll want it more than their approval. And that becomes very important. So where am I at now? Let's talk about that for just a moment. Now, as Mike said, I don't typically like to talk about this stuff, but I want this to be somewhat inspirational. I want you guys to know that if you follow AMI's program, and if you work hard, and you know what you want to accomplish, and you don't let any failure get in your way, no matter what, you can succeed. And this is part of my path to success. This doesn't mean I won't have it taken away from me at some point, but guess what? If I do, I'll just get up and do it again. Because the value isn't in what I have, it's in who I am and what I can do. Not just what I think, but what I can do. So, I went from $20,000 in the bank account, and in just under 4 years, my net worth is over $20 million. Okay? I'm the CEO of a large multi-specialty group. We have 4 integrated clinics under the AMI model. We have 2 surgical centers currently, soon hopefully to be more. We have a corporate office, a billing office. We have over 60 employees. We have 5 specialists. That's either interventional pain specialists, anesthesiologists, but specialty medical doctors. I think we have 8 nurse practitioners and 8 chiropractors currently on our staff with the rest of the 60, okay? We are making a massive difference in the epidemic. Every single day, we have success stories come into our office about people saying that we saved their lives. Okay, we have, and think about this for a moment. We are called Arizona Pain Relief. We very highly position ourselves as a company that gets people out of pain because that's what they're looking for, and we wanted to be where people are looking, but we do it differently because we go to the true cause of pain. Okay? Now, what do you think as far as Google has a rating system, right? They do 5 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think most pain clinics are rated by Google from customers? What do you think? Between 1 and 3, okay? Because typically they're really angry because they didn't get their opioid, or they're just meh, right? Nobody's ever praising their pain doctor saying, he gave me the pain medicine and it was fantastic and I love him and he's so great. Unless that guy's going to jail later because he's giving out pain meds. That's the only time they get the 5-star review typically, right? Our clinic has between all of our offices, over 400, and I think we're now at 80 5-star reviews, okay? And we have a policy that says no matter what, we won't give out any narcotics, okay? What does that mean? We are a pain clinic that will not treat pain the way that everybody else does it. We're disrupting the market on purpose. These are medical doctors. And they won't prescribe pain meds. Why? Because they know it doesn't fix it. And they want to fix it. They want to help people. That's what our company stands for. That's what you all stand for, is helping people to get better the right way. Now listen to this. I know we have a lot of chiropractors in here. Every single person that comes into our medical clinic, not a chiropractic clinic, medical clinic with specialist nurse practitioners has to see a chiropractor. And they have to see him typically before they can see a specialist for interventional pain stuff, okay? That is promoting chiropractic to a place within the pain management realm that it has never been. And we're super happy that our company can be a part of that we're pushing chiropractic into mainstream medicine to where it's on the front lines of fighting pain and getting people better, and that's what we're doing at Arizona Pain Relief. From there, as was said, I have a lot of other companies both in tech and medicine. I love business. It's something that I'm very passionate about. Once you learn some of the steps I'm going to talk about in a moment, it's really hard to stop yourself. You just have to keep going. Like as soon as life begins to get a little bit easier, it's like, oh, let's start it again. Let's do another business. I think we're up to around 19 companies that we own. So it's a lot. So it didn't all come from one place. So important questions. These are things that I want you guys to think about. They're things that you need to know, you need to write down, you need to understand. Why did you join AMI? Can I actually have some people participate in this? Why did you join AMI? You guys don't know then? Wow, that's scary. Help more people? Okay. What? Say that again? Okay.
Because there was nobody else in AMI at the time.
Had to start it, right? That's a good answer. Anybody else? Why did you join AMI?
For the vision, expand.
You loved the vision, expand. Okay. First off, can I ask this question? Is there anybody here that's not a part of AMI right now? Okay. You should join. But then let's go to the next question. Super important. What gets you up in the morning? Why do you work? What gives you the drive to get up every day? What gives you the drive that when you hit failure over and over and over again, what makes it to where you get back up and keep going? Why do you go to work? I want you to take 30 seconds, write it down. If you can't put it into words, you haven't thought about it enough. You have to know and be able to take it from here to something physical, take it from the spiritual creation to the physical creation. You have to make it real. Write it down, okay? If you don't know, you need to find out, because if not, when failure comes, you will stay down. When you fall, you will not have the strength to get up because you won't know why you're doing it. I'm going to talk about this as you're writing this. Power of creation, okay? Creation starts in the mind, but it doesn't really start in the mind. Everything starts in the mind, so we got to think about it. It has to go beyond that. If it doesn't go beyond the mind, it doesn't work. Who has ever had an idea that they said, oh, this would be fantastic, and then later seen it on an infomercial on TV and said, I had that idea? Anyone? Brave enough to say that? Okay. I know I have. Why weren't you the one having that success? Why weren't you the one that created it and made millions of dollars? Because it stayed as an idea. That's why, okay? So you can't just have an idea. When you first think of an idea, you're going to have immediately internal opposition, doubts, fear, pride. Immediately there will be opposition. You have an idea and you say, oh, I shouldn't say that because what will they think? Oh, I don't want to get up and dance on the stage because what would everybody say? Right? Doubts and fears. We have ideas and then all of a sudden they're beat down. The next thing, power of creation, continuing on. Then when we take it from our mind and we make it physical, we write it down, we say it, we talk about it until we believe it. And guess what happens? It gets attacked again. If you're not comfortable being attacked over and over again, you can't be successful. Every person that is in here that's been successful has learned one very important thing. They all have it in common. They've learned to be uncomfortable. Okay? If you're looking for comfort, stop pushing boundaries. Stop trying to be successful, because you will never be successful if you're trying to be comfortable. Okay? So, once you get past all the criticism, the naysayers, and everybody saying that what you're doing isn't right, you have to act on it. So you've said it, and you've said it, and you've said it. It requires action. Again, if you stop at any point in time on this list, you don't get to your goal. So then you act on it. And what happens, do you think, when you act on it? You should see a trend. Guess what? You're attacked again. Obstacles, problems, credentialing issues, all of those things that we mentioned are part of the journey. You're going to have to course correct again, and you're going to have to get around those obstacles. Press on because you want it more than you want to give up. Know what you want more than you care about what other people think, what they'll say, what they'll do. You have to have that burning desire that drives you forward. And guess what? Once you've done this, what do? You press on until the small seed that started as an idea blossoms into your dreams. And then what? I know some of you are laughing because you've already done this, right? You start over and you do it again. Why? Because you're strong, you are powerful, you're a creator, you're an entrepreneur. It's inside you or you would not be here. You would not have gone into chiropractic. You would not have gone into medicine to change people's lives. You would not have started a business if you didn't have the seeds inside you of success. But it requires constant action over and over again to get to where you want to go. So, where to start? Now, again, I want to go back to what I just asked you to do to write it down, but this is going to be part of an activity we're going to do in a minute.